to be, the complaint to be, and then it went back to the commission. A couple of weeks ago, the commission supported, or they sustained what the Corporation Council of the city came to, and their findings of fact and their conclusion of law and their decision in order was that Dudley quoted certain statements of Galoyu in an inappropriate manner under order and decorum, and impersonating Galoyu. And that was the written decision from the legal attorneys. That's on complaint number 1. Complaint number 2, it was the exact same thing, and the board, the Corporation Council folks said that Dudley inappropriately addressed Galoyu by rude and being disrespectful and belittling, which was a violation. And the third findings of fact and conclusion was that Dudley inappropriately addressed Galoyu Jr. by publicly ridiculing him. So those were all the complaints, all 3, and they went through the entire process. So the attorneys have come to that conclusion. So, Mr. Dudley, I'll give you 3 minutes, and I'll give each of you 3 minutes.
Madam
yes.
Chair.
Before we do that, just a clarification. Are we going to vote on this one, or we don't have to vote on this one, right? Okay.
You don't need to.
It's just for...
it's just on record that it came back to the board as is required by the neighborhood board. So, Member Dudley, I'll give you 3 minutes. Go ahead.
I believe I get 7.5 minutes. Okay, and what I'd like to tell
Stop for a minute.
What I'd like to tell
what is your question?
May I, with your indulgence,
yes.
make a comment, please?
Yes.
Madam Chair. This complaint is 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's a finding of fact. You entered it into the record over minutes. I would hate to spend our community's time with having some sort of rehashing of one side and another side that was already, to me, done at, if I recall, this board back then, and it also was done at a forum with the commission, so it's already over with. I would want to defer it and just move on from here, but Chair, it's...
Well, let me clarify. This is back in 2004 and 2005, but there's about 6 or 8 more that they haven't addressed yet, which addresses the same thing. So we're going to keep hearing it every time, and we need to. It needs to be brought before the board. If you would like at this time to say to Mr. Dudley and to the Galoyus that we just want to move on, then you can make a motion and we can take a vote. And
Madam
if you want
Chair,
to just move on, we can do that.
You've spent 5 minutes now defaming me, and
no
I don't think it's proper to move on.
What would you like to do? Oh, okay. So if you want to make a motion, that's what you have to do, so that I can let Member Dudley speak.
I believe in fair treatment. I deserve 5 minutes. Thank you.
3 minutes.
5 minutes.
3 minutes.
You've been 5 minutes out of your 15 minutes.
Mr.
Each
Dudley,
side
that's
gets
why
7.5
you have complaints,
minutes.
and that's why they're sustained. Okay. Then if you're going to do that, then you have 5 minutes. Each complaint, which are 3, each complaints have 5 minutes. Then we're going to spend 20 minutes to hear whatever it is both of you have to say. So out of courtesy and because it needs to come to the board, and there's a whole list more coming, I just want to do it, and it went through Corporation Council, which is the legal council.
Madam Chair,
okay,
enough!
So we are required by the neighborhood plan to bring it to the board. So we are bringing it to the board, so do you want to hear it or do you not? If you don't, you need to make a motion.
And so I'd like to now take my 7.5 minutes.
Wait, will you wait a minute?
Excuse me. I'm just reading the email from Brian Mick, and it seems to me that it's done. That all we have to do is say, okay, there was a finding of facts and it's accepted, and it's be entered into the minutes, and that would be it. I mean,
And
that's
that would
my
be another
personal feeling,
kangaroo report. Another kangaroo
But
report.
because it's
The
an
reason
agenda,
the reason is, I don't really want to turn this into a kangaroo court because it's already been done, and I don't want to be judge and jury of this board. So I'm just reading Brian Mick's email that this is all formality, but if you want to listen to the arguments and the complaints, that's just my feeling, you know.
Okay, can I have my
Edit.
say now? Can I have my say now? Thank you.
yes, and we're
Ricky, I'll be quite
going to
brief.
give you 3 minutes,
I'll be quite brief.
and we'll
okay?
give everybody 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay. You know, you see the circus that's going on here. This is the kind of circus that it was. It was a tremendous big situation where we had an aircraft carrier going to home port here. The circumstances were they were going to put 100,000 people here, and so I requested to talk about it. When I finally got the chance, I was just, I got 13 complaints from the group. When it finally came chance for me to talk about it, I happened to talk about Galoyu Jr. And Galoyu's mother decided that I had made him look like a fool, but not just a fool, that I had made him look like a gay fool. And I never intended anything like that. There's nothing in anything that is recorded that shows me making fun of him as a gay. However, the group was very strongly divided, as we still are, and it was 5-4. You could not convince one of those 5 people, even though they looked at the tape, you couldn't convince them that I was actually innocent. It was just impossible. And so they took it back to the neighborhood commission. When it got to the neighborhood commission, there was a big blow-up at the meeting caused by Junior, and I walked out. After that, something happened, and I don't know what it was. But evidently, they closed the meeting somehow, and evidently, they said that I was at fault. I never got a chance to present my case. Never. All right, years go by. That was 2004, folks. Finally, we need something because Dudley is getting too hot on this whole O'Peely thing. We need something to put him down. And so all of a sudden, we resurrect that, and the neighborhood commission finally says, "Whoa, we got findings of fact." The findings of fact are 5 years old, okay? And so they present them, and by golly, they have a neighborhood commission meeting to decide, let's accept the findings of fact, okay? And they do. But should that all be brought up here again? 5 years later? No. But this is, let's persecute Dudley, and this is the board persecuting Dudley again. Folks, I'm the only guy who talks to you really straight. Well, I don't really say that anymore because George and Jack are here. But, the truth of the matter is, if you want some honesty about what's going on in the community, it's me, okay? And I'm not some guy who's just a nut, and I'm not anti-gay. Honest to God, my wife and I used to stand up at the Republican meetings. I'm sorry, that's 3 minutes.
Wrap it up,
We used to
Leonie
stand
Dudley,
up at the
or
Republican
we're
meetings
going to call a
with the
recess.
Galoyus and defend the gays. And we were so strongly supportive of them. Then Michael Jr. came home, and we found out what we were supporting. And it's not that I'm against gays. I just can't stand
Okay, do you
that
want us to go
guy.
on for 2 more minutes?
And most other
No?
people can't either.
Yes or no?
Why?
Okay.
Because he's
Thank you,
nuts.
Mr. Dudley.
Okay,
Thank you,
very
Mr.
much.
Dudley. Sit down.